The Committee on Social Justice, Welfare, and Rural Development, chaired by Senator Amy Marcos, held a joint hearing with the Committee on Finance on February 3, 2025, to discuss Senate Resolution 1293. The resolution calls for an inquiry into the enhanced guidelines for the ACAP program. Key government agencies present included DSWD, DOLE, NEDA, DBM, PSA, and COMLEC, along with Mayor Benjamin Magalong and former Supreme Court Justice Antonio Carpio. Discussions revolved around the lack of clear guidelines, beneficiary selection process, and concerns over potential misuse of funds. Key concerns raised: no clear list of beneficiaries. The DOLE, DSWD, and NEDA admitted they do not have a comprehensive list of minimum wage earners or those severely affected by inflation. Election-related concerns. COMLEC Chair George Garcia stressed that the exemption of ACAP from the election ban depends on the submission of guidelines, which DSWD has not yet provided. Potential violations of the Constitution. Justice Carpio warned that the 26.7 billion pesos ACAP fund was added by Congress without prior inclusion in the executive budget, which could violate constitutional budget provisions. Transparency issues. Calls were made to publish the names of beneficiaries, amounts received, and endorsing officials to prevent misuse. And lastly, risk of political abuse. The possibility of politicians influencing fund distribution was a major concern. COMLEC Chairman George Garcia emphasized that the exemption of ACAP from the election spending ban was still conditional. This means that while an initial exemption for 882 million pesos was approved, a larger request for 12.6 billion pesos was not yet granted because the DSWD had not yet submitted the required implementation guidelines. COMLEC insisted that the exemption would only take effect if the guidelines met transparency and legal compliance standards. However, during the hearing, it became clear that the guidelines lacked specificity on beneficiary selection, safeguards against political misuse, and mechanisms for accountability. Former Justice Antonio Carpio also warned about the potential unconstitutionality of the budget allocation. Since these critical issues remained unresolved, COMLEC withheld its final decision, effectively delaying the full implementation of ACAP until the DSWD could provide a clear and verifiable process for fund distribution. Hence, the hearing ended without a final resolution. Interested to get the full transcript of the hearing? Comment transcript below.